A driver just flipped off the leader of the Brickyard 400 in the middle of the race, and the leader didn't even know it happened until he won. That's not a headline. That's a gut punch. Heim just took the checkered flag at one of the most legendary tracks in American racing, and instead of talking about his trophy, he's talking about a middle finger from Carson Hocevar. And what he said next? It wasn't diplomatic, it wasn't polite, it was ice cold. Heim won the Brickyard 400 Indianapolis. That's the headline that should be dominating the conversation. But mid-race, something else happened. Hocevar, running a lap down after an earlier pit stop, found himself stuck behind Heim, who was leading. Heim blocked him hard, smart, and repeatedly. Hocevar could not get around him. Then, as Heim pitted from the lead, Hocevar swerved toward his car and threw up a middle finger. Heim never even saw it happen in real time. He found out when TNT's post-race panel showed him the replay. His response? He laughed. Then he posted the screen grab straight to his Instagram. This isn't a random spark between two strangers. Heim and Hocevar have a track record. These two have banged doors and traded frustration for multiple seasons now, and every time they share pavement, there's tension simmering underneath. So when Hocevar got stuck a lap down behind the eventual race winner and couldn't find a way past, his old wounds got reopened in real time on live television in front of a national NASCAR audience at one of the most historic venues in the sport. Here's why this actually matters beyond the drama. Blocking a lapped car while leading a cup race is a razor's edge decision. Do it wrong and you cause a wreck that ends your day. Do it right and you protect a win at the biggest stage of your season. Heim threaded that needle perfectly. Hocevar's frustration boiling over into a gesture tells you just how much that moment mattered to him. Even from a car that was already fighting for position, not for the win. For the locker room, or in NASCAR's case, the garage, this kind of moment doesn't just disappear. Reputations get built lap by lap. And Heim just built his as a driver who doesn't rattle. Let's break down what actually happened from a racecraft perspective, because this is bigger than a middle finger. When you're leading a cup race and a lapped car is bearing down on you, you have two options. Option one, let him through, avoid conflict, focus purely on the cars actually racing you for the win. Option two, hold your line, protect your track position, and dare him to make a move. Heim chose option two, and by his own account, he did it clean. No aggressive chops, no late blocks that could have triggered contact. Just controlled, disciplined positioning that kept a frustrated driver exactly where he needed him, behind. That's not luck, that's veteran-level race management from a guy who understands that every position on that track, even against a car a lap down, has consequences on strategy, on cautions, on rhythm. Now, here's the risk side of it. Blocking anyone, lapped car or not, always carries jeopardy. One miscalculation, and you're the guy explaining a DNF instead of celebrating a Brickyard win. Heim gambled that his car control was sharper than Hocevar's patience. He was right. As for Hocevar's reaction, swerving and throwing the gesture, that's a driver operating on pure emotion, not strategy. And in a sport where composure often separates the good from the great, that moment could follow him. It's not enough to derail a career, but it is the kind of clip that gets replayed every time these two are mentioned in the same sentence again. Is Heim's blunt press conference response smart or risky? Actually, it's smart. He didn't inflame it. He didn't throw insults. He simply pointed at the scoreboard, race won, race lost, and let the results do the talking. That's the move of a driver who understands optics as well as horsepower. Expect two very different reactions colliding here. One side of the fan base is going to praise Heim's ice-cold response. He lost and I won is the kind of quote that gets turned into highlight reels and merchandise slogans. It's confident without being arrogant, and NASCAR fans respect a driver who lets his results talk. The other side is going to defend Hocevar, pointing to the frustration of getting boxed in by a lap status technicality while racing hard. Some will call the block excessive. Others will call the gesture a totally human reaction to a maddening situation. Media coverage is almost certainly going to lean into the rivalry angle, especially with Heim visibly annoyed that reporters kept steering the conversation toward Hocevar instead of his actual win, and that annoyance itself becomes a story. When a race winner has to remind the room that his rival finished ninth, that's a signal the rivalry narrative has officially taken over the coverage. Best case scenario, this becomes exactly what Heim wants it to be, a footnote. He keeps winning, keeps racing clean, and the middle finger moment fades into remember when territory, while Hocevar channels his frustration into becoming a sharper, more controlled competitor. Two respected drivers, one great story, no lasting damage. Worst case scenario, this rivalry doesn't cool off, it escalates. The next time these two are on track together, contact isn't accidental, it's intentional. NASCAR history is full of feuds that started with something small and ended with a wrecked car and a suspension. If either driver decides this needs settling on the track instead of in a press room, this story goes from a viral clip to a real problem for both careers. So here's the real question. Was Heim's block clean racing, or was it a driver pushing his luck to protect a win? And was Hocevar's middle finger a fair release of frustration, or a mistake that's going to follow him into every future matchup with Heim? Drop your take in the comments. Are you Team Heim or Team Hocevar on this one? If you want a breakdown to go deeper than the headlines, hit subscribe, because SportsWire USA isn't done with this rivalry, not even close.